modern day slavery is real. All right, let's cut the bullshit. I want to talk about modern day slavery. You think slavery is gone? Something you read about in history books from ancient Rome or some shit? That's cute. Slavery never disappeared. It just got a fucking makeover. By definition, slavery is forcing someone to do work they don't want to do. Now, I want you to really think about this. Look at everyone working a 9-to-5, living paycheck to paycheck, making minimum wage or just barely above it. Do you honestly believe they're all there because they're fulfilled? That none of them are being exploited? I guarantee you, the vast majority of them are being exploited. They are forced to work. That's the key word, forced. Why? Because they have to pay for their little brother's college tuition. They have to support their aging parents. They have to pay off soul-crushing debt, student loans, car payments, mortgages. They hate the job they do, but they are forced to do it for a pathetic wage. So let me ask you again, how is that not modern-day slavery? Freedom and the new chains. In this life, what we're supposed to want is freedom. Freedom to speak your mind, freedom to think for yourself, freedom over your time, and freedom over your money. But most people think the whips and chains are gone. In your mind, a slave is someone getting whipped in a field, right? Sure, that happened. But don't get it twisted. Those slaves were given food. They were given a place to live. They had families, they had kids. They were kept alive to work. Now think about your situation. What's the difference? The government creates money out of thin air, fiat currency, total bullshit, and gives it to corporations. Those corporations then give a tiny piece of it to you, their employee. So what's the difference? The slave got food and shelter directly. You get cash. But what's the punchline? You have to buy your own food. You have to finance your own shelter. It's the same goddamn concept. They just added a middleman called a paycheck. The 3 ways to get money. To be a free human being, you need freedom of time and freedom of location. So the real question is, how the fuck do we get out of this system? There are only 2 ways to actually get money. You either create it, which you can't. That's the Federal Reserve's job, or you take it from the existing circulation. Since money is always moving, there are 3 ways to grab it. Trade your time for money. This is the basic level, the employee trap. Create a product or service that you trade for money. This is building a system, a business that can run without you. Use money to make more money. This is investing. Now, most people get this wrong. They think, I'll invest to get rich. That's a fucking lie. You will never get rich by investing your tiny paychecks. Investing is a rich person's game. It's how the wealthy become insanely wealthy. It is not how the poor get rich. That is not your game. Your game is in the first 2 quadrants. You either trade your time for money or you build a business. If you haven't mastered the second one, don't even think about the third. Trying to make money for money when you have no money is just stupid. The time trap. Let's talk about the simplest one, trading your time for money. You edit a video, you write some code, you get a paycheck. What's the main problem? Your time is finite. You're a human being. You need to eat, drink, sleep. You sleep 6 to 8 hours a day. God gives you 24 hours. Are you going to trade all of it for work? As long as you are trading your time for money, you will never, ever be rich. I know someone's going to argue with me. Oh, my brother got rich trading his time for money. He works at a prestigious consulting firm, a Big 4 accounting gig. He's a big shot. Yeah, he grinds his ass off, gets a promotion, develops his skills, makes more money. Great. But what is he really doing? He's increasing his value per hour. His time becomes more expensive. But it doesn't matter. His time is still finite. There's a hard ceiling. It doesn't matter if you make $1,000 an hour. If you work 8 hours a day, you make $8,000 a day. There is still a limit, and that limit is time. The illusion of corporate pride. You have to break free from that time constraint. When I say things like this, I know I piss people off. The guy in his slick suit, working for a Big 4 firm, thinking, I'm successful, I make 6 figures. My question is, successful by what standards? That kind of success is bullshit. Here's why. You might feel like hot shit at your company, you feel important, but trust me, if you got fired tomorrow, they would have your replacement in 72 hours. You are fucking nothing to them. You're only cool inside that little corporate bubble. The second you're out, who are you? You're a nobody. And that's exactly how they want you to feel, dependent. So you keep trading your time for their money, getting squeezed for every last drop. Meanwhile, who's getting truly rich?
The partners who own the firm, the shareholders, they're sitting back watching you all work your asses off to create value for them while they take the lion's share of the profit. You might say, you're just shitting on people with jobs. No, I'm telling you that if you want to level up, you can't do it by just trading time for money. Maybe you're proud of your corporate car, that BMW 3 Series. There's nothing cool about that. I've seen sugar babies get a BMW 3 Series from their sugar daddies. It's nothing special. The game is rigged. If you don't understand what I'm telling you and you want to tune me out, go ahead, be my guest. But I'm telling you the truth. The game is not fair. I'm playing it too, and I know it's not fair. It's like playing chess against an opponent who keeps stealing your pieces off the board. Your only job is to find the best possible move, even in a rigged game. And the best move is not in quadrant 1. It's in quadrant 2 or 3. Building a business or investing once that business is running. From the beginning of time, the key has always been leverage. The ultimate leverage is other people's time. When you jump to quadrant 2, you start leveraging the time of all the people still stuck in quadrant 1. You pay for their time, but you get the biggest return. That's the game. You use other people's time to make money for yourself so they do the work while you have the freedom. The government is not your friend. For those of you who think the government is here to help you, wake the fuck up. Have you ever seen a rich person protesting in the streets? No, they're not. They're not going to stand out in the hot sun. Who protests? The poor. Why? Because they hope that if the government changes something, their lives will change. But we both know their lives will never fucking change. The government doesn't give a fuck about you. Only you can help yourself. You cry, raise the minimum wage, raise the minimum wage. Why don't you raise your own fucking skills? Why are you waiting for a handout that amounts to pennies? You can make 1,000 times the minimum wage if you just understood the game. Look at what happened in the US during COVID. Everyone was saying, oh, thank you, Joe Biden, for the $1,400 stimulus check. Think about it. What did people do with that money? 2 things. They either spent it or they invested it. And both of those things made the rich richer. They went out and spent it on shit from Amazon, making Jeff Bezos richer, or they said, I'm not stupid, I'm going to invest it. So they bought Amazon stock, also making Jeff Bezos fucking richer. You see the scam? You took the government's handout and gave it right back to the billionaires. The game is rigged, and you have to know it. You buy a house and get a mortgage. Who gets rich? The bank, obviously. The bank gives fresh cash to the property developer who sold you on an investment that was just a picture in a brochure. You're getting played from every angle. It's like the government gave all its slaves an allowance, and the slaves immediately used it to buy products from the slave owner's friends. It's the same system here. Think about it.
My awakening. I've known this system was a scam for a long time. My first real clue was in school. I wasn't a dumb kid. I had good grades in middle school. But in high school, I just stopped trying. I intentionally failed. I'd look at the tests and think, what the fuck is the point of learning this? I knew it was all a scam. My parents and my teachers would yell at me. They both said the same thing. If you don't do well in school, what are you gonna be? What are you gonna be? What are you gonna be? But I knew they were lying. The system tells you if you don't get a good GPA, you won't get a good job. Why the fuck would I want to get a job? Why not create jobs? People say, but you need capital to start a business. That is the last thing you need. It's a fucking excuse. I've started businesses with 0 capital. Capital comes after the idea, after the grit. My biggest wake-up call came at a restaurant. I was eating at a nice place, and my bill was like $100, which felt like a lot back then. I looked over at the table next to me, and these guys were ordering like they didn't give a shit. Bottles of wine, appetizers, entrees. They didn't even look at the prices. When the bill came, the guy just threw down a black card without a glance. I thought, this motherfucker is doing something completely different from me. He had escaped the system I was trapped in. I knew right then, if I kept following the rules and being a good student, I'd just end up as a highly paid slave, because that's what smart people do. They go to work for rich people. Think about it. That's why I do what I do now. I've been that guy at the table. I order food and I don't know the price. I buy clothes and I don't know the price because I don't care. At a certain level of wealth, everything becomes free. A $300 dinner? is effectively free. A dose of reality, the wealth gap. If you're still skeptical, thinking, who the fuck is this guy to tell me about the system? Let me open your eyes. You're probably one of two things, lazy or arrogant. Lazy is bad, but arrogant is worse, the know-it-all who's still broke. Let me break it down for you. Imagine you get a good UMR job, let's say a decent salary, $50,000 a year after taxes. Now, let's imagine by some miracle you don't spend a single fucking dollar. You don't eat, you don't drink, you don't have a home, you just save that $50,000. To buy this watch I'm wearing, and this isn't even my most expensive one, you would need to work for 5 years. 5 years of your life, not eating, not drinking, just saving this money to buy this watch. Now, the one behind me, the Patek 5711, for that, you'd need about 45 years. So, with just 2 watches from my collection, you'd need 50 years of your life's work. Is that fair? If your eyes aren't open yet, if you're still arrogant, then ask yourself this. I'm 23. You might be 23 or older. What's the difference between me, who can wear 50 years of your salary on my wrist, and you, who's still scrolling TikTok and playing video games? The difference is what I know. Your knowledge has gotten you to where you are. My knowledge has gotten me to where I am. So how do you level up? You need to purge the garbage information you've been fed by your parents, your teachers, and the media. Don't be the arrogant guy who says, we all end up in the same grave. No, we fucking don't. The easiest way to start is with your connections. You've all heard the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You know it's true, yet you still hang out with 5 fucking losers. If you hang out with 5 losers, you'll be the 6th. If you hang out with 5 people who are obsessed with making money, you will eventually make money. It's that simple. You have to be willing to cut people off. There is nothing wrong with telling your dead-end friends, hey, we're on different paths, I'm going this way, you're staying here, and we can't hang out anymore. So how do you find new people? Go to a fucking real estate seminar. Go to a business conference. Pay the $25 to get in the room with people who want to grow. Stop being so arrogant that you think you're too good for a cheap seminar when you're broke as hell. Talk to people. Do anything other than sitting at home or hanging out at a dive bar talking about nothing. You want a mentor? You need to provide value. Don't come to me with your hand out saying, teach me, master. What the fuck can you do for me? Come to me and say, hey, I can make your videos better. Here's an example. Or, I analyzed your business. Here's a flaw I found and how to fix it. Bring value first. And for fuck's sake, learn about money. Learn about inflation, interest rates, how the Federal Reserve works. Stop being ignorant about the very system that is designed to keep you poor. The winning mentality. The thing that pisses me off the most is when people ask, how can I get my first million fast? Why does it have to be fast? Why can't it be a process? Why is everyone so allergic to hard work? Why are you always looking for a shortcut? My mindset is this. I know life isn't easy. I know the chess game is rigged. I know my opponent will try to cheat. But my job is to make the best possible move. I will work my fucking ass off, and I will do whatever it takes to win. If they cheat and take my knight, I'll figure out a way to take their queen. This isn't just me ranting. I want you to do something. Every morning, I want you to go to the mirror, look yourself in the eye, and say, I promise to work my fucking ass off, and I will do whatever it takes to become a winner. Say that every single day. Stop living your life as a loser. When you have more money, you can have a bigger impact. You can help more people. So go to that mirror and make that promise. Stop being a fucking bystander in your own life.